All right, hey everybody. So welcome to Witchcast. This is our third podcast. Today we're going to be talking about our census data that we collected back in, I don't know, what was it, October?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure it was October.
Yeah, and so we have a few people on the call today. Me, Jax, and Shay, go.
Me, Shay.
I didn't think this part through. And Olive and Lucy. There we go. All right. Sorry, I'm going to do your intros for you. All right. So I actually did not make the census, so I'm going to hand it over to Shay and Olive. So one of you can go. Tell us about the census.
Do you want to go, Shay?
You can go.
Okay. Well, Kay, who was an old leader, wanted to make the census a long time ago. And then me and Shay picked it back up pretty recently. So basically we just had a bunch of like demographic questions like age and gender and all that stuff. And then we asked more questions about like your witchcraft and pagan paths. And then we had finally questions about the app in general. So those are all the questions that we had.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was really interesting, too. And most of these questions, and the reason why we asked them, is basically to help us tailor content and to figure out, you know, how to better serve y'all, but also, like, kind of figure out who our audience is inside of this app.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's kind of go through some stuff, because somebody put it in a little pie chart, which I don't know how you did that magic, but thank you. It's a part of Google. Let's see. So this is really cool. We knew this. The majority of people on our app are under 21. I am not surprised by this whatsoever.
We actually had a decent amount of older people on the app, which was kind of surprising to me because a lot of other aminos that I'm in have like majority younger people. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. So you have some older people here.
A little bit. Not too terribly much. Looks like a lot of people are between the ages of, oh, well, that's 30. Okay. Well, it's between 17 and 30. It's like everybody is between 17 and 30.
Yeah. Well, like over, I think like 60-something% is between 21 and 39. Or wait. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
29.
18 and 29.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Anyway. We have a lot of minors on our app, so y'all watch your mouths, okay? I'm just saying. And this does not surprise me at all that the majority of people on our app identify as female.
Yep. 78%.
Nobody is surprised by this. Nobody. Also,
What?
Nobody is surprised. Also, I am also not surprised about this. Our app is queer as Damn.
Right?
Cut that part out.
I had to add options after the fact because there were so many that came in as others.
Also, there's a lot of bisexual people. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like more than I would have anticipated. But yeah, which makes sense because, you know, we do definitely have a lot of blogs that tailor towards the LGBT community, so I am not surprised by that. Which, by the way, for everybody's information, I think the majority of our leadership team identifies in the LGBT spectrum somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We definitely do. I was a little surprised at this, but most of the people who use our app are American. I thought we would have a lot more people in like England and UK-ish area.
Oh yeah, it's like 62% from the US, only 10% from UK.
That is surprising.
We got some Australians, though. Represent Australia. You're a land full of monsters, though. I don't know if you know this.
I hope you're talking about the spiders.
Yeah, it's a long-standing joke in the leadership team that y'all have something called angel trumpets, which apparently if you eat this flower, it like murders you in the worst possible way. So, I don't know if you knew that, Australia, but you've got some wicked, awful things there.
Yeah.
That's what they need the Witchcraft
I want to know
for.
more about this.
Don't read the Wikipedia article for angel trumpets. It's really scary.
Yeah,
I will.
Well, let's see. We have a lot of people that are both pagan and a witch, which I did not anticipate. I think, what was it? Like nearly 60% of people identify as both pagan and a witch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 57. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of religious people here.
Yeah, I guess they overlap a lot, so I don't know. It wasn't that surprising to me.
I always thought like a lot more people would just be witches, like I just identify as a witch. And for anybody's information, if you're thinking this, yes, being a witch and being a pagan are two separate things, but you can also be a pagan and a witch. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to start yelling at me.
If I had a nickel for every time I had to say that sentence.
That's why I always put disclaimers on my post, because I don't want to get yelled at.
Don't be offended. The end.
Don't be offended.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's some other interesting information on this thing? Oh, not surprising. A lot of people here are Wiccan. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's definitely one of the popular paths or religions or faiths, especially in the U.S. Let's see. A lot of eclectic people. I'm just naming things. I don't know if this is interesting. Someone please jump in. What's interesting? We have so many vendors on this app. Like, so many people, they have to go through an approval process. I don't know if y'all know this, even though I've posted it almost everywhere. To become a vendor in our community, you have to be level 8, and you have to be here about 100 days or more. It's basically to weed out people who just join to immediately become a vendor. And we've got to have like over 200 vendors. But looking at the census, not a whole lot of you buy from vendors.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are interested in it, but most people have never bought anything from a vendor.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I get a lot of recommendations from people to they bought something on Etsy, and a lot of our vendors host their stores on Etsy or other sites that people are already shopping on.
When I took the census, I hadn't bought anything at the time, but I did recently. It was a Christmas purchase, and I'm very excited to get it. It's not here yet, but I'm anticipating it.
Yeah, I've bought from a vendor on our vendor list. I wish I remembered who it was. Twice. No. Wait, no. Papa Squirrel. I bought some crystals from Papa Squirrel. I remember that one. Yeah, got it. And then I bought some. Okay, so if any of you have read any of my blogs, you'll know that I started out with a Satcher. So I bought some cards that had some food arc on them. They're gorgeous, and I love them to death. Wow, I wish I could remember the person's name. I would give them a shout out.
Like, you said cards?
Yeah, they're cards.
I might have this person on my Etsy. I don't know.
Good, go find them. Give them a shout out. Their artwork is great.
Assuming it's the same
there
one.
we are.
Okay, so I have to say, my favorite part of the census is the very end, where everybody's giving comments, because it's really funny. Some of my favorite things were when people, like different members, like contradicted each other. It was fabulous. So some would say, like, don't be so strict about being off topic in chats. And then like a million other people are like, all your chats are off topic. Get them back on topic. And you're like, well, what do you
I don't know what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really great. And then there's a lot of people that complain. They're like, they don't like the 3-sentence rule. And then there's other people who are just like, people should be writing more. You're like, make up your mind.
Well, I mean, some communities have way more, some of them require a minimum of a paragraph.
They do. And I have to be clear, like, this is in our description for our community and in our guidelines. It's like everywhere. We're actually a blogging community. So it's a community where you post blogs. It's not like Twitter or Facebook where somebody posts what they had for breakfast that morning and then shows us some great vegan French toast. I love French toast. I really do. But we don't want to see it. So, like,
I mean, some of us might want to see
but-
it, but you can write about it.
No. Look, if you want to show me a picture of vegan French toast, you go to the vegan chat room, and I would love to see it. And then I will say yummy, because that's all I ever put every time. So.
Hey, that's not fair. It could be related to kitchen stuff, and then I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, but then
go to both chats. Have a day of it.
I mean, you can make posts.
Tell me how your powdered sugar relates to, I don't know, Aphrodite, and this is all part of a self-love practice. I am totally open to that, but just explain it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Explain it. explain this stuff to me. And then I'm like, okay, cool.
Something else that's kind of sad is that a lot of people say they don't know much about us, but I feel like we've kind of been taking steps to remedy that. I mean, besides having podcasts, a lot of us have been, stepping up and doing the OWCs ourselves, so you can learn more about us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I have to do one more podcast to tell you about how I got into witchcraft, like, I've done this like 4 times now.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff was related to the census because we read the feedback and then we wanted to improve. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, and like having a chat of the month, that was in response to the census.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other things we did in response to the census?
I think the whole chat.
The general chats.
The wiki.
Oh yeah, and the general chats.
Yeah.
We improved the wiki.
We did. What was it? It was M and Olive and Shay and a bunch of other people went through and updated the wiki.
Yep. There were like 1,000 wiki entries when we went through all of them. So you're welcome.
I didn't do any of that.
I found so many. Okay, can someone explain why the wiki always rejects your background image, even when it's clear and big enough? Because that was an issue. That's all.
Oh, I've never had that before.
I am not aware of this problem. You should PM me about that because I don't know what you're talking about.
Put it in the community feedback chat.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Shay, you should message me in the community feedback. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff about chats. There's definitely a lot of stuff about chats. I think it was more overwhelming that chats were off topic, that, they wanted a place to have like general conversation. And so we're trying to make it, the chats better, essentially. Like, have general chats so you can talk about what you had for breakfast, fine. And then also have, who's walking through a door? What are you doing right now?
I was looking for my dog. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a pass.
But yeah, so definitely trying to clean up chats so they're more on topic, as well as have general chats so you can have general conversations. So yeah, we've done a few things in response to the census. I know a lot of people are upset that we did a census, which to me is kind of strange because like almost everywhere you go, even in like an educational setting or even in the work environment, you're always going to have to do some sort of census. Like they collect data on you. And like, we don't even collect your name. We have no idea who said anything.
Yeah, it's all anonymous. We did that for a reason.
Yeah, I don't know why people got a little bit uptight about that.
I literally couldn't even find my own, so what does that tell you?
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was just like, well, I know I answered that question, but
there's like 700 and something, 721 responses. I promise we don't know who you are. I'm not checking 700 things individually.
No, definitely not.
And stalking your page to try and figure it out.
I can't even remember what I answered half of these as.
I don't know, I've got it. Secular, witch, ace. Oh, we didn't have what was it, for gender? I don't think did we have trans or
Yeah.
Did we?
No, actually I don't think we did, but I think we should
We
do
didn't, but the question just specified how you identify.
Oh, yeah. It was 2 separate
Which
questions.
did
You're
confuse
right.
people, so next time definitely I'll separate them.
Oh, no, yeah, we did. Female, male,
Or
agender,
clarify.
non-binary. All right, yeah, no, we did. So I must have answered.
Okay, yeah.
I thought we did.
Yeah, we didn't have like trans though. We had like non-binary. So I think it would be interesting to see like if we had a trans option, because we didn't have that for this one.
Well, I mean, technically.
I did go through some of the other options though, and if someone said like specified that they're like a trans male, I'd move it into
male. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
appropriate categories.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, actually, it's not bad. Male, female, agender, non-binary, other. I mean, that kind of catch all.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was looking at the conversions part. Not
Which
religious. The religion conversion thing. What religion did you follow prior to paganism?
Oh.
Everybody was Christian. Or atheist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No, but that's interesting to know, too, because, especially within the United States, we've got 60% of people from the United States. The majority of the U.S. identifies as Christian, yeah? So it kind of makes sense that if you converted to some sort of paganism or witchcraft, you were probably statistically speaking, Christian beforehand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not everybody, obviously. That's why I said statistically.
Yeah, but, you know, a lot of people had it forced on them.
I wasn't talking about your Christianity. I was talking about your paganism. All right, so I'm going to be honest. I don't know what else to say about the census.
Oh, well, there's more questions on here that we could go over, but yeah, you're right. All the interesting stuff is kind of done.
I don't know if you want to do it, but there was a whole section about like feedback for us, like whether or not we're doing a good job and whatever. I don't know if that would be interesting though.
I mean, from what I've looked at the notes that you said, and it was like the majority of people are like, "Yeah, you're doing all right."
Yeah, I guess that's
just
true.
all right.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, some people said great. Hey, some people think we're doing fucking fantastic. All right, I'm gonna take it. But, like, I'm not really interested in people who responded like, "You disabled my post last week, so I hate you. You all suck. You're not doing great at all. This app is stupid." I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yep.
We have kids here. Watch your mouth.
That whole part right there is gonna be bleeped out.
Rip everyone's ears.
Sorry.
Mac is gonna like just beep the whole thing. I do like when someone mentions like you specifically, where someone says like I only know Jax, and then if you look down, another one says I only know Rana.
Were you guys the only two to get called out like that?
I don't know. Hey,
I know no one said it to me.
All they said was I know Jax and I know Rana.
I like the one that was like, who is anyone else?
Yeah.
They knew Jax. I don't know. It's a mystery.
There's some of them are kind of funny though. I'm gonna find one and read it to you. Oh, I like this. People feel punished when we disable posts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there was someone who said we should feature like lesser quality posts, which just amazed me. I can't find it right now.
The one that was like only the pretty posts get featured and we should feature things that.
I mean, I would say that we don't necessarily choose things that have to be like 100% aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time, have a picture. Don't put everything in caps. Like, you know, like no one wants to read that. Like, it's not about looking. Look, I suck at formatting. All right, I'll be real honest with you. I get real excited when I know how to bold something. But like,
oh boy.
But like, you know, have a background. Just throw a color in there that's not blindingly yellow, and you know,
like the pole.
Yeah. Hell, we even struggled with that a few times. Didn't we do a PSA once that had like a yellow background and white writing, and we were like,
That was the poll, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't realize that the text is different on different people's phones. Because for me it was black, so I could read it just fine.
You're like, look, I could read it. That's all that mattered.
Pretty much.
But back to the featured thing. You know, sometimes I'll feature stuff without a photo, as long as there's a lot of content and it's good content.
Right.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the prettiest thing in the world. It's just, you know,
like if it's a good post, we'll probably feature it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it looks like.
Yeah.
Here's some. Have a place for newbies. You guys. Beginner's corner.
Guys.
It's right on the top.
Newcomers, moon and sun, like they said, beginner's corner. All the general chats basically, but you can only join one.
Oh, here's a good one. Somebody wants more artistic challenges. Didn't we do something like that? We did something. Show your art of some kind.
Oh yeah, I guess that was kind of a while ago.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
I don't remember it.
Okay, well, I've been here 3 years. Maybe 3 years ago. I don't know. But we did. Yeah, we should do that. I think we did. Yeah, no, Kay did a lot of stuff like that, like writing stories and artwork and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. She had the writers contest a while ago.
Yeah, there was that.
I mean, I know we had like a crafty witch challenge, but that was like a year ago, I think. Maybe we could do more of those.
I wrote that one. Let's see. What's another one? Oh, something else that we did, winners of OWCs. We started branching out and not just featuring the same people, because it seemed like the same people, I mean, they were rocking it, right? Like, they were just doing great posts every week, and then we realized, wait a minute, you've won like twice. Like, we gotta choose somebody else now. So,
titles for you.
Yeah. So that's something that we've been doing. We've been trying to definitely, hand it to people who haven't won before. So we listened, did that.
It's been fun, though, to go through the OWCs after and try and find people, especially now that we're picking more winners.
Yeah.
It's less stressful on me.
Oh, this is what I want. So people really want stuff like tutorials and things where they can learn and all that. And all I have to say is, like, guys, I hold a book club, okay? And in my book club, not only do we read, like, new material, and I know a lot of people don't like that we read new material because you got to buy the book, but you don't have to do it every month. Just if it's a book you like, just get it that month, and I don't know, you can come back some other time. But anyway, so like, but every month in the book club, not only do I have, books that we read, and whatever we're reading inside of whatever topic it is, right? I also put extra resources. So if something mentions, Plato's Republic, I will find Plato's Republic, and I will find that bit that was talked about in the book, and I will put it in the resources section. We had something that really similar with what was it, Luce? It was like, it was either Jung or Freud.
I'm pretty sure it was Freud.
Yeah, it was the id, ego, and the superego, right? Yeah, so I pulled that out and put it in there so you could take a look. And right now we're learning about fairy tradition, and I'm really excited about that because that's my path.
Same. It's not even my stuff, but I love it. It's good.
Yeah. So, if you're looking, I mean, you don't even have to get the book. You could just go through, look at the resources, and see what we're talking about. So if you're looking for more informative stuff, check out the book club.
And, I had Research Room. I gave it away. I don't really know how it's doing. But, yeah, I mean, that's sort of
It's still up, though,
different. Right? Oh, yeah, it's still up. The mod's doing great. I just haven't really paid it much attention since I gave it up.
Oh, here's one. Somebody wanted more polls. And, look, I'm glad you love polls, but everybody uses them when we have them. So we're not going to have polls.
Someone, God, I think... Was it in feedback, or was it just to me and PM? Someone asked for me to make a poll, or for us to make a poll for them.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was in the feedback chat.
Not doing that.
That was in the feedback.
I think I replied to that, and I was like,
no
polls. Consider that, thanks.
Yeah. Because the problem with polls, this is what happens, okay? We get polls, we turn them on, and it's a process for me to turn on polls. I don't know if any of you, I mean, the mod team knows this, but anytime we want to make any sort of change to the community, our community is too large. Therefore, we do not have control or access to some of the controls for Amino. I know, it's silly, isn't it? And so I have to actually email Team Amino directly and wait for them to respond to me that they have done the thing that I've asked for, which could be anywhere between, I don't know, a few hours to a month and a half. So, yeah. But anyway, when we have polls, what ends up happening is people go, I like crystals. Which one should I get? And then you can choose amethyst and rose quartz. And guess what? That's not what this is for. So,
right.
we disable them. That, or people will say, like, should I post
next?
Yeah, what should I post next? Should I do tarot? Yes or no? I'm like, no, nobody cares. Just do it.
That's attention-seeking stuff, and we disable that anyway. So
yeah. So that was kind of a bummer because people kept abusing it, so we had to turn it off.
Yeah, and there's other aminos that have polls on, so check out the leader picks and go to one of those and ask your poll.
There it is. You'll probably get disabled there too.
Oh, there was a feedback that said something about more features. But then we got other feedback saying that we featured too many things. Yeah. So that's another contradicting one.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I'm on the side of we feature too much, to be honest.
We do not.
I think so?
Definitely not. There's a reason why we feature, and it works out pretty great for us. So, also, people like when their stuff is featured. I don't know about you, but when I wasn't on the mod team, anytime one of my things was featured, I felt pretty dang good about myself. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I did too.
Get that rep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think likes get you any rep, does it? It's just if you get featured.
Oh, no. Likes get you rep.
Yeah, supposedly. I've tested it, and I don't think it's an exact system, but it does something.
I'm glad that we
Perhaps this
all
is a mystery.
nailed down specifically and know exactly how to, what to tell
Well, I
her.
have
Yeah, I
all
don't
the
know how
rep
to level.
info
It's
that
just
Kara shared, but I don't know if that's entirely correct.
Mm.
No. But if you're curious, let me know. I'll PM you.
Well, we don't know either. The blind leading the blind.
yeah.
So there was also concern. I found this a lot in the census answers, but stuff about how we moderate cultural appropriation.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about this on podcast. So you can cut this out if you want, but that did come up a lot. But we do try. I feel like whenever we do try, people get really mad at us. So I don't know.
It's kind of a lose-lose no matter what we do.
Yes, it is. So a lot of people get really angry about cultural appropriation, usually people who are appropriating. And then we get people who really want us to be, I guess, stricter. They want us to enforce, our authority more on stuff that's taken from closed cultures. So this is what happens. If someone flags something for cultural appropriation, a leader sees it, we reach out to the person who flagged and we ask them, hey, can you explain more to me about this particular, I don't know, whatever it is, the post. Tell me what's going on and let me know what this person said that indicated that this was happening. And so once that happens, then we go to the other person and then we say, hey, just so you know, we did receive a flag, and we don't tell them by who, but we say we received a flag and they said A, B, and C. Can you let us know more about your practice? And especially if it's misinformation, we'll say, hey, can you give us some sources to let us know that what you said is not, I don't know the polite way to say so that's what happens, and it's a back and forth. It takes a little bit, but usually what ends up happening is we come to some sort of understanding between all parties, and we try our best, because just because somebody has you really don't know who anyone is online. Most of us don't have a profile picture that shows our faces, and even if it did, you can't really tell too much about a person just by how they look, right? So it's a really difficult thing to kind of navigate, but we definitely try.
Mm-hmm.
Did that answer the question?
Probably.
Probably.
But yeah, it definitely seems like a topic that everybody is really interested in, and they're very divided. You're either super against it, super for it. Well, not for cultural appropriation. You just generally don't think it's a thing, is what happens. But yeah, we definitely try our best. And our team is fairly diverse, so I think that we definitely try.
Yeah, it's just such a huge issue in pagan communities in general, so we really do try, but it's just not always as clear-cut as people think it is.
Right, there's that too, yeah. I mean, it's a complex issue. Like, if 15 mods on an amino could fix cultural appropriation, you think this is what we'd be doing all day? No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, and as Jack said,
that's
we
a
don't
very
know
good point, though.
everything, so we really rely on the community to tell us when there's an issue, if it goes past us. Just let us know. Help us out, please.
I want to insist that the correct way to deal with this issue is to flag something and then to let the leader know what's happening. Don't go after the person and just start screaming at them, because then what happens is then they flag you. And then all we see is you calling somebody ABC awful curse word, and then we have to strike you. So if you see something that you don't like, or something that's that's clearly against the guidelines, please flag the issue. We may be witches, but I can't read my mind.
Amen. And don't come for me either, because I can do jack all about it. I'm not trying to be funny, but go to a leader.
Yeah.
Just don't mistake me for a leader anymore, because I'm not.
I mean, I did a PSA. I'm just saying.
I know you did, but
we've done many a PSA, and yet somehow, these things don't stop happening.
Right.
I know.
And well, I mean, we're kind of being a little salty, but in all seriousness, we do want to help you. We want to make sure this place is safe. We want to make sure that it's not, super off-putting or triggering to you. So you just have to let us know there's a problem. Don't just go on Tumblr and say how awful Jax is. It's just that doesn't help anybody. And
exactly.
But I'm not on Tumblr, so.
Me neither.
Out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
I don't even know if I know what Tumblr is. I'll have to Google it.
I do have Instagram now, though.
Oh yeah, I have Instagram. I have like 5 pictures of my cat. That's my Instagram.
That's all you really need.
I love your cat, though. It's so cute.
Yeah, Othello is cute. Thank you. That's how you get in my good graces. You just compliment my cat. Something that I thought was interesting that people brought up, well, I say people, one person, talked about men in witchcraft. And then they asked us to talk about men in witchcraft. And I am not even certain we have a man on our mod team. No, we do. Moth.
Moth.
Yeah, Mac. Mac or Moth?
And Mac. I love you, Mac. I knew it.
Oh, I thought you said Mac, but you were like pronouncing it like Mock, and I was like, wait, is that how you say Mac's name?
Oh, his name is
Mock.
You said
We're talking about Moth.
I know that now. I was confused.
Yeah, Matt cut that part out too. But yeah, so somebody said that we should talk about men in witchcraft, and I don't feel qualified to talk about that. But somebody else did bring up from a cis and trans perspective of like different kinds of like gendered concepts. You know, like every single herb apparently is either male or female, which I think is really ridiculous. Unless you speak Spanish or French or something, nobody wants to know that. And like.
Yeah.
I'm really off-put by anything that's like, this is divine female energy. And I'm just like, okay, have fun. And like, I don't understand why that's even necessary. So I can talk from a trans perspective about different kinds of gender concepts in witchcraft. It's one of the reasons why I like fairy tradition, because fairy tradition also leaves room for, non-binary or genderqueer folks as well as agender. So, yeah, there are different paths out there that don't. What is that from? Isn't it from like the Golden Dawn? Is that where we get all these gendered things?
I don't know, actually.
I'm actually not sure.
I remember reading a lot about the gendered stuff when I first started, and I like tried really hard to align myself with that belief, but after like a few months I was like, I just can't do this anymore. This is really dumb. Not that it's dumb for everyone, but it was dumb for me.
It's totally
Personally, I don't think that it matters. I mean, I know what corresponds with what, and that's all I need to know.
Right. I just want to know why somebody decided bay was masculine. Like, who looked at a bay leaf and went, yeah, that's a dude?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just kind of weird to me.
It is a little weird.
And as far as, like, divine feminine and divine masculine energies, like, I get that, right? Like, I don't particularly feel like either one, so I don't really care at all. But, like, you know, I clearly know people who firmly identify as a woman and they like, you know, divine energy. Yeah, kumbaya, second wave feminism. Great. Have fun. But like, I don't know. It is like, from my perspective, I don't think any of it is necessary. But that doesn't mean like if you find it, if it's empowering for you, do you, Pikachu. I think that's wonderful because you're not me, I'm not you. So, but that's my perspective.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
Speaking as, you know, I feel you. I don't see the point. I don't know at all. It's
right.
Kind of weird. Like, even metals like gold and silver, why does one have to be masculine and the other feminine? It doesn't make any sense to me. Oh,
okay. So, because we were talking about gendered witchcraft, I really do. I'm so sorry. I do have to bash that one book by Lisa Lister, The Witch, Unleashed, Untamed, Unapologetic.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, that's a freaking awful book. I hate it so much. I don't want anyone to ever read it a day in their life because I thought it was like one of the worst witchcraft books I've ever read. Because first of all, if someone starts their book off like what did she say? She said, you know what? Some people care about like trans women. I don't. Like, that's essentially what she said.
Oof.
And I was just like, oh, transphobia, great. We're on page 3. This is going to be great. And then, like, she keeps going, and she consistently defines being female or being a woman with having a womb and having children. And it really, really bothered me because it's, you know, not every woman has a womb, and a lot of women decide to live child-free. Not everybody wants a little, you know, mini-me. That's just not for everybody. And I don't think it's fair to define womanhood in those things. Anyway, so I hate her. I forgot what we were talking about. I just had to.
No, I agree with that. Because, I mean, I'm female and I don't want children. That's kind of why the whole, like, triple goddess thing never really appealed to me either. Because there's a whole, like, maiden mother crone, and that's how a woman should, like, grow or whatever. And it just involves a lot of, like, having children and having relationships with men. And that's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, same. What are some books? Tell us, Luke.
Yeah. So, while I like the book itself, I'm just going to talk about the author because Silver Ravenwolf.
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Even though I like the book, I have so much of it scratched out and rewritten. It's not funny. I'm sorry. We're going to cut that out. It's not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny.
Okay, but let's be honest, though. If you grew up in the 90s, you watched, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The Craft, and then you bought a Silver Raven book. Like, that's what you did. Yeah. And then you went directly to, what was it, Spencer's, and then you bought an incense burner. Like, that's whatever, it was a rite of passage. And so...
I never bought an incense burner from Spencer's, though.
Well...
I got it from a gas station.
Were you a 90s kid?
I was a 90s kid.
You were?
You were a bad 90s kid. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I think I'm older than all of you, though, right?
I'm pretty sure all of you.
I think you're older than me by a year.
Oh, well, never mind. Then I can't give you crap, Luce.
You might be a little bit, but
yeah. I don't sound it, but I got gray hair, so. What's another one? Now that we've moved on to books, I can do that, and I can talk about books all day. I'll tell you what. I mean, everybody reads Scott Cunningham, right? Because it's just like he basically.
You gotta.
He invented like New Age solitary Wicca. Like that's basically what he did.
Yeah, he was one of the first authors
I
I
like
read.
the herb book he has.
Yeah, I've read that one. There's another one that's really well known.
Ray Buckland, probably.
Yeah, the Big
He was
Blue
the first one I read.
You can't not have read the Big Blue Book. That's like that's like the Bible.
I'm not sure that's correct.
It's not, but
it felt
it
like
is.
the Bible for people who read it, and that was like their first book.
It was definitely my first book.
Same.
Mine was Silver Raven. Mine was To Ride a Silver Broomstick.
Oh, no.
That was. Well, I didn't say I liked it. I mean, I liked it at the time. Oh, it's really cute too. If I found my first Book of Shadows, like when I was like 12. It's great. So the front of it just has like this really weird like a binder in, like that doesn't make any sense. It's just like a bunch of different runes that I squished together. That I mean, I'm looking at it now and I just have no idea what I was thinking. And then
I can't even see it and it hurts.
And then I figured out
It hurts my head.
it was actually in like one of the first chapters of To Ride a Silver Broomstick. It tells you how to protect your Book of Shadows, and it was this rune that made no sense. Yeah.
It's okay. You've grown, I hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was over half of my life ago.
I'm just being optimistic, okay? Leaving room for error.
I feel like you're all being a little mean to me right now.
I'm not.
We love you, Jack.
I hope so. They're trying to lead a revolution. I know it. Let's see.
I do not want your job.
Yeah. So another one that I really like. I love Christopher Penzak. Do y'all read Christopher Penzak?
I never have, but I've had him recommended to me multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you recommended it to me.
Probably. I really like the Inner Temple of Witchcraft and then the Outer Temple. I really like that. It's a good one. I recommend that one. I recommend him. I don't know. Who else do I really like? I really like T. Thorn Coil, Evolutionary Witchcraft. That's actually fairy, but then T. Thorn left fairy, but it's still a really good book. That's another one.
Sorry about that.
I feel like all the books I'm reading are like old scholarly texts, which are really boring, and I don't want to recommend people. So I'll just step away from this conversation.
Well, may the force be with you, because that sounds awful.
It is awful,
That sounds
but I'm
awful.
learning things.
I mean, I guess.
No offense, but the last book we had in the book club was very dry at one point. The rest of it was good, but the whole second chapter, man, I just had to struggle through it. I'm just like,
What
nope.
did we read?
The Cauldron. The whole history chapter was just.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I don't really care about.
It was a good book.
But yeah,
it was a good book, but.
For a second, I thought you were talking about The Flame in the Cauldron. I was like, you shut your mouth, because I love Orion Foxwood.
I haven't read that. Is it good?
Oh, yeah, I like stuff about Tradcraft.
Mm. But no, I mean...
Huh?
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. The book was great. I'll never look at a Cauldron the same way again, but that whole second chapter was... No.
If I remember correctly, it was reaching a little bit, but... What's another one? What did I learn? Oh, what's her name? Maya She writes a bunch of stuff about energy work. Those are good. You should read those.
I definitely should read those.
Yeah, it's Energy Essentials, I think. Energy Essentials for Witches and Pagans or something like that. And then there's another one called...
I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, and then she did another one. It's like called the Unspell book. I don't know. The Unspell book, I think it's called. I can't remember. It's good. I own both of them.
I'm going to check those out right now.
Yeah. So what are some books that y'all like?
I'm just stuck on Betwixt and Between. I can't put it down. Like, I'm farther than I should be.
I love Storm Fairy Wolf. That's the author. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on Modern Witch Podcast, and I love that podcast. So good.
Me too.
Yeah, with Devin Hunter. I think Devin Hunter is his partner, yeah.
Yeah,
it's really good. I don't think they've updated it in a while, but
I don't think
it's a really good podcast.
Yeah.
The last one I listened to was about Betwixt and Between, and it was great.
Yeah.
I know they've had some more since then, but that's the last one I listened to.
Yeah, that's got to be a while, because he has a new book now, so that would have been like 2-3 years ago.
Mm.
Do y'all listen to Witch podcasts?
I've listened to a few.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Jax, you recommended me to listen to the Fat Feminist Witch, and I listened to all of them, and they're all amazing.
I know, right?
She's great. I want to support her on Patreon now, which I don't support anybody on Patreon, but I want to do it for her.
Yeah, I'm actually a part of her little witch and club. I think she calls it witch. Yeah. But yeah, Fat Feminist Witch is with her name is Paige. I don't know her last name. That one's really good. What's another one? Oh, Down at the Crossroads. Love that one. Have you all listened to that one?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
Oh, okay.
No, but I've heard it recommended.
Yeah. Mostly traditional witchcraft. They actually built their own tradition, kind of in their own location, and they're the ones that came out loose. They're the ones that came out with that book, the Broom Stang and something else.
Oh, the one we're reading next month.
Yep.
Or March.
Yeah. What's another one I think? Oh,
yeah.
Circle of Salt. These two guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's just these two guys that are super salty, and I like it a lot.
I'm salty.
But
I feel like I listened to more, but I can't think of them right now.
What are some other things now that we're talking about culture? Let me see. I just figured out, what is it called? The White Queen. It's a TV show. It's about King Henry VII and his wife, Elizabeth. And in that show, like, I'm really good. Like, every time I see something, I'm like, ooh, and I have to write it down. There's actually the Queen Elizabeth's mother, which I think her name is Elizabeth, which is a little confusing, but whatever. She's a witch. And it's really cool because she does a little bit of, like, spells and stuff, and they're, like, legit. So.
What is it called again?
It's like the White.
So let me get this straight. There's a TV show that portrays actual and it's not fake.
Yeah, except they like dramatized like that time period. I love time period pieces, so they dramatize it. Like it's a little weird. It's like doesn't follow history exactly. But the woman in it, like she hexes people a few times and like she does some other stuff, and you're just like, all right, that's legit. All right, get it.
Oh, I want to watch this now. Is it on Hulu?
I think I watched it on Prime.
I don't have Prime.
Oh wait, no. I think I watched it on HBO.
I definitely don't have that.
Yeah. But that was really good. What are some other things? I'm like stretching. Anybody jump anytime.
I don't know. I don't really watch many like witch TV shows or anything like that.
Yeah.
The only one I've watched is the one y'all talked about last cast, and I don't really want to delve back into that.
Yeah. There's another one that's coming out that I really want to see. It's Siempre Bruja, and it's
I saw a
really
post recommending that today.
Yeah.
It looked good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
What is it?
It's about it's just like about a witch. I guess it's in Spanish, so it's got to be Spain or something. And anyway, so she was burned at the stake, and then she comes back in 2019 in like modern day.
That might be interesting. I want to watch this now.
Yeah, that one looks like it's going to be really good. I keep up in the witchcraft community. Let's see.
Let's see. We jumped from books to podcast to TV. Let's go back to books.
Okay.
I like books. So one I really liked, and I might get a little bit of this, but The Green Witch, Grimoire by Anne Moore. I love that book.
I have never read it.
It's so good. Like, I mean, okay, so everybody knows I'm not really religious, but it has a lot of stuff that has to do with the religion, but, you know, I'm open to reading about it. It's not bad, per se. Not my thing. But, I mean, all the information in there seems really good, and I really enjoyed that book.
Wait, who is it by?
Anne Moore.
Anne Moore. Okay, because there's another book called The Green Witch by Erin Murphy. Maybe?
Oh, wait. This one is The Green Witch's Grimoire. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. No.
Or Grimoire of, even.
Yeah. Completely different book.
But it's a good book. And I loved it.
Okay, I believe you.
Most of the books I've been reading are more like pagan oriented and not really that witchcraft oriented. So I'm reading these, like I said before, these like old scholarly things. But I also just finished reading, it's a new translation of the Poetic Edda by Jackson Crawford. It's really good. I never read any of the other translations, but it's written in like contemporary English, which is really interesting, and it's very easy to read. And I do recommend it if you're interested in learning about the Norse god things.
I'm interested.
He also has a really great YouTube channel, by the way.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Check it out.
Yeah, I watch those too. They're really good, his videos.
Are you both
Now
heathens?
I want to read it.
Huh?
Do you both identify as heathens?
Oh, no. I'm just trying to learn things.
Oh.
But I think it's interesting, but I'm not
I'm
a
just
heathen.
indoctrinating Olive. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was just like, I did not notice that. Learning things. I liked Asatru when I was 12, and I thought it was great. But the problem is I'm not Norwegian, and like I'm half Mexican. I couldn't be further from Norway if I tried. So like, I don't know. It was just really difficult for me because I was like, I mean, you got cool hats and boats. I don't know what to tell you. But like, other than that, like, it was just kind of just way too far from anything I could identify with.
Yeah, I've been trying to like go back and look at my heritage and then look at what like my ancestors did and whatever. So that's why I'm reading a lot about Roman stuff. But I don't know how much I really like the Roman religion, so I'm not really sure. But I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah, so I don't follow any religion.
Tell us how you really feel, Jack.
Don't. I will. But I do really like fairy tradition. I think that it's very interesting. And all I'm saying is that if you want to believe in a god, one that has a big freaking peacock tail and slaps it at people, I'm just saying, it's the greatest.
You should talk more about fairy tradition in a podcast one time, because I don't really know a lot about it. It seems interesting from what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's Would you like to talk about it, Bruce?
What?
I don't
was
know
asking
anything
this.
outside of a book, so it's not really my place.
Oh, well, I mean, I only know things from books, and I do have a a friend who is in fairy tradition that is been promising to teach me. So that should be interesting. But right now he's in Oregon, so that kind of made it difficult. But yeah, no, I got interested in it probably a year or two ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the first thing I did was I listened to him talk about it. You know, we were talking about like gender identity and all that. That's kind of how it came up. And then after that, I asked for a few different book recommendations, and so that's when I read T. Thorne Coyle's Evolutionary Witchcraft, and then I started following Storm Fairywolf online, and also Matt Aroon and David Salisbury and a few other people. Like there a lot of them are kind of connected. I think some of them are even dating each other. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, so I kind of got into it that way. So fairy tradition is traditional American witchcraft, and so it pulls from a lot of different things. And it is interesting that Storm Fairywolf did talk about cultural appropriation. I thought that was really appropriate that he discussed that within like the first chapter or two. But personally, I don't feel connected to anything Hawaiian, anything relating to hoodoo or voodoo, or, you know, it's not part of my heritage. I don't identify with that, so I don't practice that in particular. I know some people in fairy do, but I don't. And I don't know. There's just something about blue fairy fire that I think is freaking fantastic. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I love when you get passionate about stuff. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it is it's self-reflection and it's working on yourself. Like something I like, and it is considered a left-hand path. It's a lot of it is about it's self-help. Like I keep thinking about it, and I was like, look, if I didn't have health insurance, like this would be amazing. Like you're gonna teach me how to be a functioning human being. Like great, love it. That's not magic. Maybe it is. I don't know, but I like it. So. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually what I really did like about it. That's what got me interested in it, to be completely honest. You know, I mean, I know that not every coyote is going to identify left-handed like I do, but, you know, I think that, you know, the whole no dogma thing is great, and that's why I like that.
And a lot of it is energy work, right? And then you, especially when you get into things like the Iron Pentacle, and it's a lot of it is not running away from like different emotions that you have. It's embracing them and looking into them and like figuring it out. And you know what I mean? Like we're all human, and it's like with Christianity, it's kind of like they always have this sex is bad. And then you have like a lot of pagan religions that are more sex positive, but especially with fairy, it's more like, you know, everything in moderation, of course, but also you should understand your impulses and your drives and everything. And then you should learn to work with them and connect them to the person. I could talk about this all day and just babble, so we should definitely.
I actually really like the whole part where he just goes into detail about the fetch. He's like, look, the fetch wants stuff that's bad for you, so learn how to tell it no, but definitely get in touch with it.
Oh, yeah, it's like the triple soul, the tripart soul.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we should. I want to listen to all you talk about your past one day. Like, I want to know. I'm particularly interested in your stuff, Shay.
Oh.
You're like, oh, no.
Oh, dear.
But you don't follow a Satru, do you?
No, not particularly. I mean, well, it's hard to explain because people like interpret that term differently depending on their stance within heathenry. Mm-hmm. Some people are like, that's only New Age heathenry, and we don't like that, or we like that. And then some people go by the people who kind of coined that term was the a Satru fellowship in Iceland. And some people are like, they just intended it for the faith, so, you know, it's interchangeable and they don't really care. So I guess it depends who you ask, but I don't usually use the term for myself.
What about you, Olive?
I don't know. It's a big old question mark right now. I started with Wicca, but I left that like last year, I think. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of trying to research things right now, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I'm pretty secular at the moment.
That's cool,
yeah.
I'm good with it.
What do you do, Lucy?
Oh, I'm a coyote.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Anyone else think it was pronounced Jehode? Did anybody? Anyway.
What?
I think that was just you.
Yeah, I think so.
Beware, I'm opening the door. Cut this out, Mac.
But
Anyway, yeah. I might not even be pronouncing that right. What did you think it was?
I thought it was Chahode.
Yeah, I think Chaos a little closer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you're right, because mine's ridiculous. But no, I'm pretty sure Calf said it at one point in another podcast, and I was like, mental note, I've been saying that wrong. Yeah, I think that's also Mac's path.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. I know.
He
Wait,
did a
yes, it
video
is
about
because
it.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I follow Mac on YouTube.
I know.
That video's been in my recommended for so long, and I can't get it to go away. And no hate on Mac, but I've already seen it, and it won't leave. So,
Mac's like,
I mean, I know I can manually get rid of it, but I'm lazy.
I love your channel, Mac. I love everything about your little baggy face.
do we know why
Baggy
Mac?
face.
Yeah, do we know why Mac has a bag face for a profile pic?
I don't know.
Probably because nobody wants to show their face.
Yeah, definitely not. I want all y'all to curse me. I'll pass on that.
Oh, isn't it a potato sack or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
It's really funny because in every podcast we end up talking about Mac. Like every single one. It is kind of funny. We're always
It's
like,
just the heart and soul.
I know. We're like, I wonder who Mac is really. Like, what are your opinions on things, Mac? We're just like talking to the podcast, to the ether.
I think the last one on YouTube, when he uploaded it to YouTube, he added his own like little comments on the screen when you guys were talking. So I hope he's been doing that for this too.
What?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. I still need to watch the second one. Like, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Mac to send me the other one. You know what?
I don't, but that's okay.
The one without the bleeps.
Oh.
Cut that out, Mac. Nobody needs to know that.
Yeah, we know we definitely curse. Oh, it's really funny because it's like I got beeped quite a lot, but then like Juana, like straight up in the very beginning of the podcast, drops an F-bomb, no beep whatsoever.
No. I pointed that out to Mac. I was like, it was bleep, bleep. Like, what?
You're like, whoa now. Okay, thanks everybody for being here with us as we discuss our census and some other of our favorite witchy related, I don't know, I guess you would say media, books, podcasts, TV shows. And yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Nobody said bye. Okay, cool.
Bye.
Your first those two.
Bye.
Bye.